Hello. I decided to do a video. I felt like it was much more easier. I did my research and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Hydrosphere. It's basically all of Earth's water. So I found this project very interesting, and I learned stuff that I kind of didn't. I had no clue that all that. So many systems of the Earth were helping us. For example, Earth has four main systems that interact. It's the hydrosphere, the geosphere, air and gases, and of course life, which is animals, us, which I found that very interesting. That we all help this planet keep on living and growing, but it's our job to take care of it, right? So, how is water distributed on Earth? Well, let me tell you. 2/3 of our planet is covered by water, which is 71%. And 97.2 of the water is salt water, mostly found in oceans. Only 2.8 of the water on Earth is fresh water. The majority of fresh water is beyond our reach, locked into polar snow and ice. So more like kind of like the cold, where like the penguins are at, and more like that. The majority of fresh water is beyond our reach. Less than 1% is available from contribution. So, oceans like take 97.2, like I said earlier. That has to do with hydrospheres. And glaciers take 2.15. Groundwater takes 0.62. Freshwater lakes are 0.9. Lakes and seas are 0.8. Water stream channels are 0.1. Atmosphere 0.1. The hydrosphere is water on Earth that helps basically the whole solar system like run and like keep going. Earth, it has a perfect amount of mass, chemical, atmosphere. Like those all tie in together, of course. But the sun does a huge part in ordeal because it permits the water to exist mainly as liquid. Water is the main source of life. We use it, the planet uses it. It's very important. So we have different types of water, like salt water, but that is dangerous for us to drink, or because it has all these weird contaminated by the animals and bacteria. Fresh water is water that is not salty, has little but no taste, color, or smell, obviously. Like lake, ponds, rivers, streams, fresh water. What are some various forms on Earth of water? So we have solid, liquid, gas, which we learned in third grade. So it could be, oh, sorry, excuse me. So how is water maintained on Earth? The water never increases or decreases because, I mean, like I said, we help it. Sorry, excuse me. We help it stay intact. Okay, so the steps, this like water cycles, which is evaporation, is when water heats up and changes from liquid to vapor, aka gas. Condensation is when water, vapor, and atmosphere cool to become a liquid. And when water falls from, sorry, precipitation is when water that falls from the clouds. Examples are rain, hail, snow. So freshwater locations are like rivers, streams, lakes. A stream is a small channel along which water is continually flowed down a slope made of small gullies. What is a river? Well, a river is a channel along which water is continually flowing down a slope made of many streams that come together. What is a lake? A body of water of considerable size contained on a body of lake. So runoff collections on the Earth's surface. River bias is an area that drains a large river, a water shield. Describe an area that drains a smaller river on a stream. Alright, a drainage basin is an area where all of the water on one side of the divide flows. So it's kind of like when you, for example, see, like when it's raining and you see ponds on, like little ponds side of the road from the rain. When it rains a lot. Like remember how I mentioned earlier, a watershed is a graphic area in which all water running off the land drains to a specific creek, river, or stream. So you have the watershed, which is divided, and then you have the river mount, and then it leads towards down the groundwater. Icebergs. So icebergs are a large piece of fresh water, ice floating in open waters. Icebergs start out as part of a glacier. 80% up is underwater. But glaciers are a large mass of ice that move slowly over land because it's so heavy. And how I mentioned like a couple minutes ago, groundwater. Groundwater is found in cracks, pores, sand, gravel, rocks below Earth's surface. I found this very interesting and basically how everything ties in together to help the hydrosphere. So a water table, a zone of pore space contain mostly air. Zone of saturation, pore spaces contain mostly water. Water table, the table of the zone of saturation. So what is aquifer? So is a rock layer that stores water and allows water to follow through it. So there are very different types of aquifer. So one, we have flowing estuarine well, aquatel, aquaquide, water table, Van zone, undefined aquifer, semi-confined aquifer, confined aquifer. So under the ground bed or rock layers that contain groundwater for wells and springs. So an astral water flow to the surface normally because it is under pressure. Spring water that flows to the surface of the earth from underground. It's site where the aquifer surface meets ground surface. Water is very essential for our life because it helps wetlands, an area where water table is at near and above land surface long enough during the year to support adaptive plant growth. So it helps with plants, which who needs plants? Some animals, not all. So I found this very interesting. So I hope you like my video presentation. I wrote all this information down. I felt like it was much easier for me to present and explain. So thank you, and I hope you like my presentation.